This is DD India and you're watching Express News, a program where we bring you top 100 news of the day. I'm Tanvi Taneja. Let's begin. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has embarked on a 5-nation visit to Ghana, Trinidad and Tobago, Argentina, Brazil and Namibia. In his departure statement, the Prime Minister highlighted Ghana as a valued partner in the Global South and playing an important role in the African Union and the economic community of West African states. Further, Prime Minister Modi said he looked forward to his exchanges aimed at further deepening historical ties and opening up new windows of cooperation. Prime Minister will also be addressing the Parliament of Ghana. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh held a telephonic conversation with his US counterpart Pete Hegseth on Tuesday. Both the leaders held excellent discussions to review the ongoing and new initiatives to further deepen India-US defence partnership and strengthen cooperation in capacity building. Rajnath Singh conveyed his deep appreciation for the unwavering support extended by the US to India in its fight against terrorism. Hegseth invited Rajnath Singh to the US. Tibetan spiritual leader Dalai Lama has announced his succession plan, in which he said that the 600-year-old institution will continue after his death. Speaking during the 15th Tibetan Religious Conference, he said that the responsibility for identifying the 15th Dalai Lama will rest exclusively with the Garden Phordrang Trust. India's Ministry of Health and Family Welfare said on Wednesday that no link has been found between the COVID-19 vaccines and the surge of sudden deaths due to heart attacks among adults. Studies by the Indian Council of Medical Research and National Centre for Disease Control affirm that COVID-19 vaccines in India are safe and effective with extremely rare instances of serious side effects. The first batch of Kailash Mansarovar Yatra 2025 pilgrims successfully returned to Gangtok after completing their sacred pilgrimage to Mount Kailash and Mansarovar. The pilgrims expressed their gratitude towards the government for providing them with a comfortable stay, warm hospitality and nutritious Sattvic meals. Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha flagged off the first batch of pilgrims for the Sri Amarnath Yatra today. Before the flag-off, LG Sinha offered prayers at the Yatri Niwas base camp in Jammu. The Amarnath Yatra is being conducted through the Baltal and Pahalgam routes. The 40-day-long Amarnath Yatra will culminate on August 9th. Coal production from captive and commercial mines for the month of June has been recorded at 15.57 million tonnes and dispatched at 17.31 million tonnes. The first quarter of the financial year 2025-26 showed strong year-on-year growth, with production increasing by 16.39% and dispatches by 13.03% compared to the same period last year. India's Culture Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat, Delhi Lieutenant Governor Vinay Kumar Saxena and Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta unveiled the Sheesh Mahal and other restored heritage structures at DDA Shalimar Bagh. Legislator Hemant Kumar Khandelwal was elected as the new president of the Madhya Pradesh BJP unit in the presence of senior party leaders. He was facilitated by State Chief Minister Mohan Yadav during the event. Indian Navy's stealth frigate INS Teg concluded her port call at Port Victoria, Seychelles on 30th of June, reaffirming the long-standing maritime partnership between India and Seychelles. The visit served to strengthen existing bilateral ties and promote naval cooperation in the region. RBI's latest financial stability report says that the soundness and resilience of India's scheduled commercial banks are bolstered by robust capital buffers, multi-decadal low non-performing loans and strong earnings. India's scheduled commercial banks' gross and Net non-performing assets ratios declines to multi-decadal lows of 2.3% and 0.5% respectively. As per ICICI Bank's report, India's Kharif sowing has surged 11.3% year-on-year, driven by a 47.3% increase in rice and 37.2% increase in pulses. Monsoon rainfall, vital for Kharif crops, hit 109% of the long period average in June, slightly above the IMD's 108% forecast. Indian equity indices ended on a negative note in the volatile session on Wednesday. At close, Sensex dropped 288 points to settle at 83,411. Nifty declined 88 points to 25,453. Gold futures maturing on August 5th were priced at 97,342 rupees per 10 grams on the multi-commodity exchange. Silver futures for July 4th maturity stood at 1,06,050 rupees per kilo on the MCX. Indian rupee fell 12 paise to close at 85.71 rupees against the US dollar on Tuesday. Asian markets wavered on Wednesday. Tokyo's Nikkei dropped again after Trump criticized Japan over auto and rice trade, warning of tariffs up to 35%. Oil futures were little changed on Wednesday as markets weighed expectations of more supply from major producers next month. Brent crude added 5 cents to $67.16 a barrel. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar held a very productive meeting of the Quad foreign ministers in Washington, D.C. He stated that the gathering will strengthen strategic stability in the Indo-Pacific and keep it free and open. Leaders of the grouping comprising India, the United States, Australia and Japan discussed ways to make Quad more focused and impactful on contemporary opportunities and challenges. Quad foreign ministers condemned unequivocally all acts of terrorism and violent extremism in all its forms and manifestations, including cross-border terrorism. In a joint statement issued by the US, India, Australia and Japan, the leaders renewed their commitment to counter-terrorism cooperation while also condemning in the strongest terms the Pahalgam terrorist attack. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar held a productive conversation with US Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth focused on advancing the India-US defense partnership. Dr. Jaishankar also met his Australian and Japanese counterparts on the sidelines of Quad. The minister said that he looks forward to welcoming Penny Wong to India. French President Emmanuel Macron urged his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin to agree to a ceasefire in Ukraine in the first ever talks held between the two leaders since 2022. Though the Russian leader blamed the West for the conflict during the 2-hour-long telephonic conversation and said that any peace deal should be comprehensive and long-term. The Pentagon has halted some shipments of air defense missiles and other precision munitions to Ukraine over concerns that US stockpiles are too low. A Ukrainian drone strike hit a facility in Izhdev, Russia, killing 3 and injuring 35, according to the regional governor. Ukrainian officials claim the target was a factory producing missile systems and drones for Russia's military. Protesters clashed with police in Istanbul on the 100th day of Ekrem İmamoğlu's detention. Demonstrators called for the release of the jailed mayor and presidential candidate. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer's welfare bill passed its second reading in Parliament with 335 votes in favour. The welfare bill faced backlash after Starmer softened benefit cut plans amid a Labour revolt. Qantas Airlines confirmed the cyber attack exposed personal data of 6 million customers, marking Australia's biggest breach in years. Thailand's acting Prime Minister held office for just one day on Wednesday. He temporarily replaced suspended Premier Pentonta Shinawatra ahead of a cabinet reshuffle. 5 people, including a 4-year-old girl, died from suspected carbon monoxide poisoning in Argentina. Authorities are investigating the source of the deadly exposure. Explosions at a fireworks facility in Esparto, California sparked a large fire and thick smoke. Evacuations were ordered within a 1-mile radius due to the hazardous blaze. Venezuela's National Assembly declared UN Rights Chief Volker Turk persona non grata following a critical report. The report highlighted worsening human rights conditions in the country. Mexican police uncovered 383 embalmed bodies inside an unlicensed crematorium in Ciudad Juarez. Families were misled into believing the deceased had been cremated. We're heading for a short break. We'll be back with Express News in just a bit. Stay tuned to DD India.
Can the US launch a bombing campaign against Iran? The Philippines vessel suffered structural damage. The saga of child sexual abuse is the United States China's debt trap strategy. Truth is stranger than fiction. But sometimes hard to uncover. Trust us to tell the truth, unadulterated and pure, of every story that matters to you.
That's exactly what save your country.
You read between the lines, cut the clutter, and connect the dots to get you the full picture. Watch Connecting the Dots at these times with me, only on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching Express News on DD India. Let's resume. A powerful storm battered Sydney for a second day, cancelling flights and cutting power across Australia's southeast. Weather conditions in Australia are expected to worsen before the storm moves into the Tasman Sea and heads toward New Zealand. 2 people have died in a wildfire that swept through Spain's Catalonia region. As emergency services reported, the blaze was largely contained despite warnings of further wind and thunderstorms. Hurricane Flossie formed an eye and strengthened off Mexico's coast with winds of 175 kilometers per hour. Paris sweltered under a heat wave as temperatures neared 40 degrees Celsius, causing a heat haze over major landmarks including the Eiffel Tower and Arc de Triomphe. A polar cold wave hit Argentina's Buenos Aires, dropping temperatures to -1 degree Celsius, the coldest day of the week. Argentina's weather service had warned that the temperatures would reach freezing point in the capital with sub-zero conditions. Flooding and landslides struck Villa Vicencio, Colombia, after rivers overflowed due to heavy rains. Severe flooding in Himachal Pradesh led to a red alert after intense rainfall raised the Beas River's level. Heavy rains in Madhya Pradesh's Bhopal caused widespread waterlogging, with Indian Met Department forecasting more showers and storms. Torrential rains hit central China's Henan and Hubei provinces, prompting emergency rescues and relocations. The UK faces drying reservoirs and heat above 30 degrees Celsius, pushing people to seek relief in rivers and lakes. Drones are reforesting Canadian wildfire-hit areas by dropping seed capsules over scorched land. Copenhagen launched a program that rewards eco-friendly behavior like trash pickup and urban gardening. The initiative also encourages longer tourist stays with sustainability perks. Running from mid-June to late August, Coupon Pay offers 100+ activities with discounts or free access. The goal is to promote green actions and enhance visitor experience. A Magellanic penguin was spotted near Rio de Janeiro, surprising beachgoers who shared photos online. A snow leopard and her cub made a surprise appearance on camera in Gansu's Gahaizecha Nature Reserve of China. Turkey celebrated Cabotage Day, marking maritime independence, with major dance and music events held in Istanbul. Chilean astronomers revealed the most detailed images of the early universe's cold gas and galaxy formation. Captured at the Alma Observatory in northern Chile as part of a research project on galaxy evolution, the images reveal where stars are born. For the first time in the world, a humanoid robot named Iron Cub 3 from Italy flew with a jetpack, maintaining stable flight at 50 centimeters. In Antalya, harvested fields are now covered with hand-woven carpets from across Turkey. The sun naturally restores their faded colors lost during the winter. Over 10,000 wind chimes at a Fukuoka temple in Japan are soothing visitors during the summer heat. Zumba dance event was organized in Thrissur schools as part of Kerala's anti-drug and wellness campaign. Luxury fashion powerhouse Prada has acknowledged the ancient Indian roots of its new sandal design after the debut of footwear sparked a furore among Indian artisans. The Devil Wears Prada fame Adrian Grenier won't be reprising his role as Nate Cooper, the boyfriend of Andy Sachs, played by Anne Hathaway. K-pop supergroup BTS will head to the United States this month to start working on new music and will launch its next album early next year ahead of a world tour. Actor Scarlett Johansson, Jonathan Bailey and Rupert Friend and others greet fans at a red carpet event in South Korea before the official release of their film Jurassic World Rebirth on July 4th. Khloe Kardashian shares detailed list of cosmetic procedures she has undergone, responding to a viral video that speculated about her recent appearance. Ellie Seed, created by Jeho Sun and Zena, with over 1.4 billion global views to get anime adaptation by Oscar-nominated Dandelion Studio. Actors John Cena and Idris Elba embark on a friendship journey in the comedy action adventure Heads of State. Veteran gospel singer Kirk Franklin is expanding his career by adding spiritual tour guide and creative director to his resume. From his big screen debut film Refugee to exploring OTT spaces with projects such as Breathe and Kalidhar Lapata, Abhishek Bachchan celebrates 25 years in the industry. Amir Khan's sports comedy drama Sitari Zameen Par has crossed 130 crores at the domestic box office. The title track of Ajay Devgan's starrer Son of Sardar 2 has been revealed. The film will release on July 25th. On to sports news now. England skipper Ben Stokes won the toss and opted to bowl first against India in the second test match at Edgbaston. India made 3 changes in their playing 11. Star pacer Jasprit Bumrah is rested for the game, while Sai Sudarshan and Shardul Thakur also sit out. India wicketkeeper batter Rishabh Pant moved up to the 6th place in the ICC men's test batting rankings after his twin centuries for India against England. Spanish club Real Madrid secured a hard-fought 1-0 victory over Juventus in a tightly contested Club World Cup round of 16 match. Borussia Dortmund defeated Mexican football club Monterrey 2-1 to book their berth in the quarterfinals for the FIFA Club World Cup. Aitana Bonmati rejoined Spain's squad for the Women's European Championship in Switzerland after being discharged from hospital following a bout of viral meningitis. Novak Djokovic started his Wimbledon 2025 campaign with a win. The Serbian icon registered a 4-set victory over Frenchman Muller. World number 1 Yannick Sinner eased effortlessly into the second round, defeating fellow Italian Luca Nardi in a 6-4, 6-3, 6-0 victory. Third seed Alexander Zverev was the highest seeded player to fall in the opening round. The German lost in 5 sets to heavy-hitting Frenchman Arthur Rinderknecht. 11th seed Australian Alex de Minaur edged past Spaniard Roberto Carabel's Baena to move into the second round of Wimbledon on Tuesday. British number 1 Jack Draper began his Wimbledon bid with a commanding performance before his opponent Sebastian Baez retired through injury. In the women's singles, second-ranked Coco Gauff became just the third woman in the Open era to lose in the first round at Wimbledon right after winning the championship at the French Open. American Jessica Pegula suffered a shock Wimbledon exit. The third seed was beaten by world number 116, Italy's Elisabetta Cocchiaretto in straight sets. Defending Wimbledon champion Barbara Krejcikova avoided a first-round upset with a hard-fought victory over promising youngster Alexandra Ala. And two-time world champion javelin thrower Grenada's Anderson Peters has been ruled out of the Neeraj Chopra Classic event on Tuesday. So that's it in this edition of Express News. Thank you for tuning in. Namaskar.